What the fuck? You have to do everything the fucking UI tells you to do?
High on Life is a video game, that much I know for sure. Is it a good video game? Well, if you played it before the latest patch, that is very debatable, because there were some serious game-breaking bugs that occurred for a ton of players, including myself. The main one being a soft lock that occurred after beating the boss Douglas. If you had to respawn for any reason after the boss in the following area, you would get brought back to the boss room and get trapped with no way to move on. So you had to completely restart the game from the beginning to continue. Well, since I was trapped, I'm really debating on making a review from where I was in the game currently, or wait for an update to the game since I figured something like this would be a serious priority for the devs. Well, while I was in the middle of making this script, a new update came out for the game that fixes not just the soft lock bug, but various other problems players were experiencing as well, like performance issues. So like any good game reviewer, I sat back down, got back on the grind, and after finishing the game, I can easily say I loved it.
Warp drive should be at the top. That's where it always is in shit like this. Just keep going. Keep going up to the top.
Even though I've never been a big Rick and Morty fan, I've only seen like 17 episodes from various seasons, but that style of humor works so great in this game. Just the way it's so in your face and not giving a damn about anything is just so refreshing. Definitely when it keeps mocking traditional video game design philosophies and its constant banter of letting the player know they should already know how everything in the game works. Which I should say, the gameplay is alright. It's not revolutionary in any way, but it fits the game so well. You have various weapons that have multiple functions, a sludge pistol that can shoot goop to launch enemies into the air, a knife that can act as a grapple to get around environments, a shotgun that can shoot a giant blade that can kill enemies, or stick to walls to help you reach unreachable areas, Halo Needle-esque weapon that can explode after sticking to enemies, and so on. Then best of all of these weapons talk to you, which adds another level of dialogue that can be hilarious at times thanks to how different their personalities are. Now, I should also say you can buy mods for your weapons that not only change how they perform, but also change the look of them so you have an indicator of what mod you have equipped. Also, you can buy upgrades for both your weapon and suit that you wear that provide various quality of life improvements, like more ammo for weapons, health for your character, or new movement abilities. And of course, you can buy these upgrades using money you find from killing enemies or out of hidden chests scattered around the world. Should also mention you can get warp crystals from the bases enemies warp in on that you can use to buy warp drives that make it easier to travel between areas or potentially travel to new areas. Then of course, like any game, you have challenges you can complete, but High on Life has a great twist on this. So you're a bounty hunter. You have access to these bounty hunter forums through your suit. Well, these forums have conversations between users that are happening as you play through the game, but they only update as you complete challenges. I really enjoy this. As a person who loves reading salty comments across the web on different sites, this is perfect incentive for me to go out and complete these challenges since I want to see what comes next from these forum posts. Maybe that's stupid, but I love it. Then when it comes to enemy variety type, it's okay. Nothing really stood out to me on that front except for the boss fights. They're absolutely exceptional in this game. Each one brings their own gimmick for the player to deal with, and I really enjoyed these moments because you could really feel the best parts of the game come together for these. Dialogue, shooting, and platforming. And the platforming is really fun in this game. It's not hard, but just enjoyable, and adds a nice break from the generic action that you will be dealing with throughout the levels, thanks to the way it weaves all of your weapon and movement abilities together. Sprinkle in some equally as easy but fun puzzles, make all of it flow into a beautifully artistic environment that absolutely pops. You have yourself a world that truly is a pleasure to run through and makes you excited to always see what comes next, which obviously means the story. Which the story of High on Life is something else. Basically, you are a complete loser who is hated by his parents and bossed around by your sister. Well, one day while you are playing a video game, in-game learning how the controls work, which may I say was just a top tier way to introduce players to the game to me. Now with that out of the way, going back to the story, some aliens show up to take over Earth. you find a talking gun, and you and your sister get teleported to another world, which leads to you becoming a bounty hunter so you can take down the aliens that are threatening Earth because they're basically trying to harvest humans because it's basically a sort of drug for them. And I love everything about this. The characters are great from start to finish. I love the interactions you're able to have throughout the game where you're basically able to make fun choices on the spot, but these choices don't have any effect on the overarching story. It's just a way to spice up certain parts of the game's dialogue to give a different experience to the player, and some could argue replayability as well. And if you're feeling really bored at any time, you could actually watch real movies in your house on the TV, at another location I won't spoil for any of you. Which really just sums up the experience of the game. It's just stupid, simple fun. It doesn't try to be some crazy, innovative game. It's just a fun arcade shooter that's out to just make jokes and throw the most unexpected moments at you. And that is why I hated that this game had these soft lock issues at the launch of the game. Even though the devs fixed the problem quickly, it doesn't change the fact that so many players probably quit the game right then and there. It won't return. So if you go seeking other reviews, and they were published before the game released the December 13th patch, understand that's why those players might feel bitter the way they do. As for other people, how they feel is how they feel. I just wanted to throw this out there since I was about to be one of those players, but glad I waited to make this vid until after the patch, so I could experience the game from start to finish and understand the game the devs were trying to make. With that said, I easily recommend High on Life if you're looking for a relaxing game to sit back and have some dumb fun on. Thanks for watching, everyone.